The Iran-Iraq War, a devastating conflict spanning 8 years in the 1980s, often fades from global memory, overshadowed by other geopolitical events. Yet, its shadow looms large over the Middle East, having reshaped nations, societies, and the very fabric of regional power dynamics. This brutal struggle, marked by immense human suffering and staggering economic costs, laid the groundwork for many of the challenges we witness in the region today. Understanding its true toll is crucial to comprehending contemporary Iran and Iraq, and indeed, the broader international landscape. The roots of the war run deep, entwined with ancient border disputes, modern ideological clashes, and a fierce regional power struggle. Following the 1979 Iranian Revolution, Saddam Hussein's Iraq, fearing the revolutionary fervor spreading to its own Shia population, launched a full-scale invasion in September 1980. Baghdad aimed to assert dominance over the Shatt al-Arab waterway and curb Iran's burgeoning influence, a decision that plunged both nations into an almost decade-long quagmire of attrition warfare. This aggressive miscalculation ignited a conflict far more protracted and destructive than anticipated. The human cost of the Iran-Iraq War is truly staggering, often underestimated. Conservative estimates suggest over 1 million lives were lost on both sides, soldiers and civilians alike. Many more were wounded, permanently disabled, or displaced from their homes. Generations were scarred by the trauma, loss, and the sheer brutality of frontline combat, which included trench warfare reminiscent of World War I. This wasn't just a conflict of statistics, it was a personal tragedy for millions of families, forever altering their future and leaving deep emotional wounds. Beyond the human tragedy, the economic toll was catastrophic. Both Iran and Iraq poured vast portions of their national budgets into the war effort, estimated at over $1 trillion in total direct and indirect costs. Entire cities, industrial complexes, and oil facilities were reduced to rubble. Oil exports, the primary revenue source for both nations, were severely disrupted, halting development and deepening debt. The destruction meant decades of rebuilding, diverting crucial resources away from education, healthcare, and infrastructure, leaving a legacy of stunted economic growth. One of the darkest chapters of the war was Iraq's extensive use of chemical weapons, particularly against Iranian soldiers and Kurdish civilians. The 1988 Halabja massacre, where thousands perished from nerve and mustard agents, remains a horrific symbol of this brutality. Survivors continue to suffer severe long-term health complications, from respiratory diseases to cancers and birth defects. This horrific weapon not only inflicted immediate devastation but left an indelible mark on individuals and communities, a testament to the war's inhumane tactics and its enduring medical legacy. The conflict profoundly reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East. It normalized proxy warfare, drew in external powers, and hardened sectarian divides. Iraq's heavy debt from the war was a direct precursor to its invasion of Kuwait in 1990, setting the stage for the Gulf War. Iran, emerging from the conflict isolated but resilient, continued to pursue its revolutionary foreign policy. The war contributed to a cycle of violence and mistrust that continues to plague the region, making long-term peace and stability an elusive goal for decades to come. The generational impact of the Iran-Iraq War is immeasurable. Millions of children grew up in the shadow of conflict, experiencing displacement, loss, and trauma. Education systems were disrupted, infrastructure for social development was destroyed, and a significant portion of the workforce was either killed or disabled. The psychological scars, including PTSD and depression, affect not only veterans but also their families and communities, silently shaping societal norms and individual destinies for decades after the last shot was fired. This deep-seated trauma persists, influencing identity and outlook. The environmental consequences of the war were equally severe, often overlooked in the immediate aftermath. Widespread destruction of oil fields led to massive spills and air pollution, devastating ecosystems in the Persian Gulf and surrounding lands. Scorched earth tactics left vast tracts of agricultural land unusable, contributing to desertification. Unexploded ordnance continues to contaminate large areas, posing a lethal threat to civilians and hindering economic development to this day. The very landscape of both nations bears the physical scars of a conflict that respected no boundaries. The war fundamentally altered the political trajectories of both Iran and Iraq. In Iran, the conflict solidified the authority of the revolutionary regime, using the external threat to rally nationalist sentiment and suppress internal dissent. For Iraq, Saddam Hussein's dictatorship became even more entrenched, relying on the military and security apparatus to maintain power, even as the country grappled with immense debt. The conflict also shifted regional alliances, exacerbating proxy tensions that continue to define power dynamics and shape international interventions today. The Iran-Iraq war stands as a stark reminder of the devastating costs of unchecked aggression and the enduring nature of conflict's aftermath. Its lessons echo in geopolitical strategies, international efforts at reconciliation, and the ongoing struggles for stability in the Middle East. From the humanitarian crisis to economic recovery, environmental repair, and the quest for lasting peace, the legacy of this brutal war continues to demand attention. Only by understanding its deep, complex, and persistent effects can we hope to prevent similar tragedies and build a more stable future.